Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, let's bring this meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Morton?
Here.
Commissioner Connor?
Here.
Commissioner Fowler?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cordell? Here. Mayor Black?
Here. Let us bow for invocation. Dear God, our Father in heaven, once again, we're grateful, thankful for the opportunity to gather ourselves here to do business for the town of Ranlo. We pray, God, that you would surely guide us and lead us, and that we could do the business that you would have us to do in a timely manner. And we pray these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Adoption of the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Got everything? You like everything that's on it? We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? So carried. Adoption of the October 22 regular meeting minutes. We have a motion to accept. All right, Commissioner Connor, second. Commissioner Fowler, all in favor? So carried.
Mr. Mayor, I believe that we went over the comments from attendees. I believe Mr. Wilson wanted to
Oh, yeah.
address the board. Just a little idea, and I sent you guys out some information about Mr. Wilson. We've been going back and forth for a while now regarding the grass. Mr. Wilson has a fence and the sidewalk, and then there's a patch of grass that is there. We've been talking about the maintenance of that grass right there. And Public Works Director and I went out there and looked at it this week and talked about the possibility of just taking a yard of concrete and concreting it in to get it towards the storm drain. I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in, Mr. Wilson, or not, and it would completely eliminate that grass through there. If not, we can certainly continue to maintain the area, but certainly anything that you'd like to address the board about or give them a better idea would be
My
fine.
only concern about concrete, that if you ever went by my house and it's storming, my yard floods.
Yes, sir.
Because that drain just can't handle it all. And I'm afraid if you was concrete over it, it would just make it worse. The grass will slow it down a little bit.
Right.
So
The buffer and stuff.
That would be my only concern about concreting it.
Yes, sir.
So where is this grass located? At the side of his house or in front of his
If
house?
you go down Park Drive, Mr. Wilson lives at the corner of Maple and Park. He's the corner house right there. His yard's fenced in, and then the sidewalk, and then there's a small strip of grass on to the left of the sidewalk that abuts the road. Small strip of grass.
Yeah.
And we own that strip?
It's within the town's right of way through there,
Yeah.
I believe is what Public Works Director and I.
But it's, that's no, on all your houses, all through town, you got about 10 foot of right of way or so that everybody maintains, right?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ryan.
Well, I noticed this week, first of the week, after I come up here, that they come down through there and cut the grass and trimmed it. But where I trimmed, they didn't really trim. I mean, but they went all the way down the street.
He lives directly across from where the walking track is, so a lot of times they'll go down both sides of the road through there where the walking track is and cut it.
But that's where I talked to you, I explained to them, they cut it twice, and that was it. They never did trim it. But they cut it twice, and when they would cut the infill over there at the track, they would look over there at it, but just ignore it.
Okay. So we've got, we're gonna just take care of it, handle it, and,
We're glad to cut it. I mean, there's not an issue there. I mean, we certainly won't let it get out of compliance or have any issues with it being in violation of any code or overgrowth that we have.
and you think the concrete, how did Jason and,
It's Jason's idea. They worked up some prices with
Concrete,
Mr. Wright that we were looking at this week.
yeah.
But like Mr. Wilson said, there could be a concern with the way that it is now. A lot of that rainwater is being soaked up in the vegetation right there. If you eliminate that, it's gonna be more water going into that storm. And we've looked, I'm sorry.
Does the storm drain back up?
We looked at it, what was it, maybe a couple years ago, Mr. Wilson, we came down there and looked at the storm drain. It seems like we cleaned it out because it had been clogged
Yeah,
up.
well, they come out and reworked it a little bit,
Yes,
made it a
that's
little bit wider.
That's right.
That helped a lot,
Right,
but my yard was still flooded, but not
Yes,
as
sir.
bad as it did.
right.
But yeah, they
Mhm.
widened that drain,
Right.
so.
I remember the Public Works Director and I came out there and we kind of looked at what was the best direction and we upfitted it a bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't that right?
Curious,
That did
Mr.
help the
Wilson.
flooding.
Well, Mr. Wilson, what do you think will be
I'm sorry, is it okay if I approach?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
What do you think would work? Since this is your yard, you're dealing with this, what do you think would work? Would help your drainage issue? What do you think would help?
what would help,
Yeah.
well, you know, I would really prefer the town take care of it.
Okay.
But I explained a little bit earlier that I could do it, but I just couldn't do it on the day that I cut my regular yard. Because if you would come by my house, see, my yard's not that big, and it still takes me 3 hours, because I have to take breaks. I can't breathe, I got neuropathy in my feet, so just standing and walking like that, it's a big pain. And, but like I say, I could take care of it, but it couldn't be all in one day. I'd have to either do it a couple days before my yard, or a couple days after. But, it reflects on me when it gets out of hand. The trimming, they never did trim it after I come up and talked to Jonathan, he called, man, while I was there. And yeah, they come out and they cut it twice. They never did trim it. So I waited on them, so finally I got out there and did the trimming myself and cut it. I just couldn't stand the way it looked. And I don't want it looking that way.
No,
I
you
mean,
shouldn't.
you know, I would prefer the town to take care of it. I mean, I can do it, but I would charge for it. I feel like that I should be paid for it. And I figured y'all make them do it for that. And again, if somebody wants me to answer something, I'll have to come up there. I'm deaf on one side and about
Can't hear the-
3/4 deaf over here, I
Oh,
think.
my.
So, Mr. Wilson, tonight, you're just asking that, the town agrees to cut that grass on that strip in front of your house. Is that's what you're asking the board for tonight?
Well, no, the back pay.
Okay. Mr. Wilson had issued an invoice to the town indicating that the town owes him $4,800 for 12 years back pay for cutting this grass. I think I sent that out yesterday, didn't I? Yeah.
But like I say, I've been there for 23 years, but only asking for 12 years.
Well, they sort of volunteered to cut him, we didn't ask him to cut it, right?
That's my understanding, Mr. Mayor.
Well, you don't ask any property owner to cut the right of way in front of their house.
Do we maintain everywhere that we have a right of way?
Well, it's all through the town.
I know.
Not typically, no ma'am. Not every right of way within the town.
So,
Some homeowners, like Mr. Wilson indicated, cut it themselves. If there's an issue or we get a complaint about a specific right of way that's not being cut, or if it's overgrown and we determine that it is the town's responsibility, then yes, we would. But we do not regularly go through all streets throughout the entire town looking for places to cut.
and you determined that this specific piece is the town's
I
responsibility?
believe so. I believe that it is. I mean, anything short of just getting a survey, I don't know that the city or the town has a formal, any type of legal documentation indicating that there's an easement or right of way there, but it's generally accepted that there would be.
So,
It's very, very close given very close proximity to our storm drain,
mhm.
right there.
if it's, if you decide to use concrete to go over it, will the storm drain be able to handle the additional water?
Mr. Green felt as though that would be a reasonable solution, no way to know for certain,
And you
short
could
of
like maybe
concrete.
slope it so that it's more inclined to go
Right.
toward the storm
And like
drain
Mr. Wilson
itself?
said, we did upfit that line, upfit that storm drain at his request a couple of years ago, which seemed to help the problem, right, when we went in and upfitted the storm drain,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that
Um,
didn't help.
It would be it's a very small strip of grass that is right there.
My inclination is to say that if you can't figure out a solution with paving over it, just cut it whenever the field gets cut.
And that can certainly be done. I don't think the guys have any issues with that at all, like Mr. Wilson was saying, we've cut it before, through there, when it's been noted that it's been overgrown through there. Particularly since it's in such close proximity to our storm drain.
The concerning back pay, we're not gonna pay back pay for anybody that's cut their right of ways, are we?
I sent Mr. Wilson notice that I didn't have the authority to be able to grant any type of reimbursement for an unauthorized charge such as that.
Yeah, all right.
Did you say you're not gonna pay that?
Yeah, we can.
So you don't appreciate me taking care of it all these years?
We appreciate,
That's basically what you're saying.
we appreciate it, but we can't pay you for
Well,
it.
apparently not, if you're not gonna pay me for it.
I understand how you
Well,
feel
that's-
about it, but
That's
we,
kinda setting a bad
And you
precedent
know it's
too.
your property, like right now, there's a sign there. They didn't ask for my permission to put a sign up. They didn't ask for rent. I mean, I didn't ask them for rent to put it there, so that means it's your property.
There's a speed bump ahead sign, I believe is, the sign's a speed bump ahead sign?
Yeah.
That's what they're,
That's not really how that is.
and I believe that was the issue that you were referencing in regards to the trimming. They cut it, but they didn't come back and weed eat and trim under the sign.
But they
That was
didn't
the
cut it,
problem.
yeah, they did, the sidewalk and all, they didn't
Yes.
trim that, they didn't trim
Trimming of
anything.
the sidewalk, okay.
Or even around the sign, they just cut the grass, that was it, run the mower over, and then they had to keep going back and forth, blow whatever the grass they cut
Yes,
out.
Yes, sir.
And, but they didn't do that but twice.
Yes, sir.
And then I finally I couldn't stand the way it looked any longer, and I got out there and did it again
Yes, sir.
myself. I
Yes,
got it neat again.
Right, I understand.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Wilson. You know, there are a lot, I'm sorry, I got a frog in my throat tonight.
It's okay.
There are a lot of properties here in Ranlo that actually have that same issue with, coming in so many feet from the road. So if the town were to pay you, do you not think about the domino, how many other people would say, well, I got that same issue, and, y'all gonna pay me, cause I've been keeping this grass.
Right, that's why I was hoping there wasn't a big crowd in here.
Oh, so you were hoping there would be a big
And
crowd?
start a ball rolling on that. I didn't wanna do that, cause of that big of a problem. And,
Because there would be a lot of people in here,
oh yeah,
Well, if you
Yeah.
start that precedent, of course you would. I mean,
yeah, especially if your story goes to the Gazette.
I question why we're maintaining a right of way for a sidewalk. That's what we have the right of way for, right?
And storm
well,
drain.
the
I'm
right
not
of way is
sure
from
the
the
utilities
center of
that
the
go through
street.
there.
Every other
It's-
house that has sidewalks and a storm
Right.
drain,
Mhm.
they maintain
Right.
that property. I'm having a little bit of trouble understanding why this one is
Mhm.
different.
And it may be advantageous to have a formal policy in place. I looked into this a bit this week. There are some cities and towns that specifically state what the homeowner's responsibility is, how far it goes out, and what the city or town's responsibilities clearly are. We don't have anything
I think-
that I'm aware of.
I think that having a policy would be a good idea.
Yeah.
That way we can just point to the rules and say, these are the rules, and there's no gray area, there's no question.
but also now I was told, I think his name was,
Mr. Anderson.
who?
Tim Anderson?
No, he, I can't think of his name now, but anyway, he come out there and told me what's on the inside of the sidewalk is my problem, what's on the outside of the sidewalk is the town's problem. So, I think it's the supervisor of the guys that does that, what,
yeah,
Jason Green or
Jason?
Jason?
Yeah,
Was it
Yeah.
Jason?
seems like Jason was it.
Jason.
Yes.
Mr. Green and I have been looking this, throughout this week, so it's something that's certainly been on our radar.
so we're gonna table it and, make a new policy or something?
I can certainly make a new
Yeah.
policy for sure.
Adapt the policies that,
And I don't have any issue with maintaining anything that the town's legally responsible to maintain, and we haven't, up until now, had any significant issue or problem. So, I certainly think we can do that. As far as any other reimbursement or any type of further action, that I don't have that authority. That would have to be something that would be.
Another way to look at it, when y'all put the sidewalk in, now, the reason it's 4 foot wide, I voluntarily give, permission to move my fence to make the sidewalk 4 feet wide. Well, the rest of the way down through there's not the 3 feet. But they didn't ask the person living there if they could take 3 feet, they just took it, cause it belongs to the town. But I volunteered, I thought they would, follow through with this and try and get it to 4 feet. Because if you watch people walking up and down that sidewalk where it's just 3 feet, it's hard for 2 people to walk side by side with just 3 feet. And it should have been 4 feet all the way down. That's the way I feel.
All right, I think, the rest of them were 3 foot and they just matched what we already had. All right, anything else on this, anybody, any comments?
I just hate that you're having this experience. I hate
Again,
that you're having this problem, because you told us on top of that, you do have these health issues that make what might be easy for some people harder for you to do.
yeah,
So, I understand that, and, we're gonna see if we can't come up with a policy or something, since we cannot reimburse you that money, so that the town steps up and is responsible for what they say they're responsible for.
okay,
And so that you don't have to worry about that,
all right,
okay?
I appreciate that.
Yes,
Very
thank
much.
you, thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is number 5, discussion of the amendment to the town's hunting ordinance.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. At last month's meeting, the board reached consensus to move forward with looking at a draft amendment to the code of ordinances that would specifically prohibit bow and arrow hunting. At that time, I asked the board if you guys wanted to have a public hearing on the matter. It was indicated that you did not, so I do have a draft before you tonight. It's very close to the city of Lowell. The language from there is very close, that specifically lists bow and arrows, spring rifles, things of that sort. The board has several options tonight. We can add, amend, change anything in this particular ordinance. It can be adopted as is. We can call for a public hearing next month on the matter. That is, or we can completely disregard the ordinance amendment and keep it as is. That would be at discretion of you guys tonight, how you'd like to proceed.
Okay, what's the thoughts of the board?
It would be my preference to adopt this ordinance. And thinking about it, I have deer that go through my yard every day. And if somebody decides that they wanna kill one of those deer, and an arrow goes through one of my windows, I'm gonna be here at the town having a fit. And I think rightfully so. If we allow this to continue, it's, no other municipality does it, right?
Not that I'm familiar with here in Gaston County.
So I don't see, especially because my yard is not very much bigger or smaller than any other yard throughout Ranlo. I don't think that, allowing bow hunting within the town limits is a good idea. I don't think that it's going to, add anything to the town. I would really like to see this ordinance passed.
Well, as we continue to see growth in the outlying areas, we see the population of the deer exploding in the town. The other night, I seen, it's like a herd of about 6 or 8, right up from my house, on Halloween, when I was walking. I understand that you wanna change policy on if, but, have we had any bow and arrows go through windows yet? Has
The
anybody-
only complaints that I'm familiar with were ones that were lodged several years ago when it was a big discussion that
Right.
the town had. Were you on the board then?
No.
No, I think that they had quite a number of people come express concerns, and those concerns,
Mr. Jamie Neal was on board.
I believe that's right, Commissioner Morton. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they had a lot of discussion, they had a public hearing.
They did, and I think I provided you guys with the minutes from that hearing, but consistently, that's a complaint, an issue, or question that I get around this time of year, every year. Does the town allow it? Do we not allow it? There seems to be some confusion amongst the residents about whether it is or is not permissible, and as the ordinance does not speak to it, and as the board declined to amend the ordinances years ago to prohibit it, I mean, I've taken the stance that likely, yes, it is allowable because it's not prohibited, and the board addressed it, and set that precedent some years ago.
So we're looking at hunting, they would have to, I mean, I don't know how it's going, I don't hunt, but where are they hunting other than woods, you know, they're not like hunting in people's backyards, right?
I haven't,
You know,
haven't been made of any specific requests for specific locations other than off of Ridge, Strawberry.
Well, you said last time, but you didn't have any, there was no policy set, if they were to hunt, where would they hunt, or how?
No, I don't.
So, that would be an option there is, you know, like the wooded areas only that was, they had permission by the owners of the land to hunt, that would probably help thin out the population of deers. That's a thought, you know, that's a thought.
I just wanna say, I grew up an active hunter when I was growing up, archery and rifle and everything, and Ranlo's what, 1.7 miles, square miles, something like that, and a responsible hunter, I don't know if they would want to discharge this close to some of these houses.
Not a gun.
Well, gun or a bow, a responsible hunter wants to be safe.
Yeah.
And now, if we have some areas in the town limits that are so many feet from a residence, and we can maybe do a permitted thing on that, that would be something I'd look at, but, without something like that, I would just say the wording on this ordinance is fine with me. Cause I want people to be responsible, and just shooting off your back porch is not responsible.
Well, I don't know of anybody doing that. I do
Well,
know
it
an
happens.
individual that,
It does happen.
he hunts here in one of the wooded areas that, is, you know, could be considered to be developed, so. But I don't think he's ever, well, I know he's never injured anyone or shot through anybody's windows or anything like that. I mean, I get it. There's some irresponsible hunters out there. There's a if, they may be in this room, I don't know.
So we're talking about bow and arrow, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, bow and arrow hunting, yes, sir, yeah.
I don't think that it would,
Okay.
I think my preference would be a public hearing, because, you know, you need to let citizens have their say, you know,
I mean,
and speak.
you said that there was a public hearing, right?
Yes.
A lot of people came out against it, against allowing hunting.
But that's back then, this is now, we need to have a public hearing, to let citizens at least come out again and speak.
I don't see a circumstance where I would still take that gamble.
No.
This could be a matter of public safety,
Yeah.
You can shoot for 20 years, and it just takes that one time.
Yeah,
That's true.
I
I
agree.
do have one more thing.
And we're
I'd like to bring
responsible
up for
to
you.
protect the people in the
That,
town.
fence down here at the walking track, it's just an eyesore.
Excuse me. We're in a meeting now, so the time for the,
What I had to say
is over, yeah. So
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
we'll have to wait till another time on that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I think that, I'll make a motion to adopt this ordinance as written.
All right, do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. All in favor? So carried. All right, next item on the agenda is new business, consideration of backflow ordinance.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, we went through a routine water audit, last week, the week before, and one of the areas that the audit indicated we need to improve was a formal adoption of a backflow ordinance for our water distribution system. I was provided with draft language from the company or from the agency that conducted our audit, with language they would like to see included in that ordinance, and they recommended that this be passed by the board in order to improve for our next audit, that we have a formal backflow ordinance in place. It's essentially boilerplate language throughout the ordinance that specifically addresses backflow in regards to water distribution. So I would recommend the adoption of this based on the information that I received and was given from our audit findings.
All right, do we have a motion to accept that?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fowler, second, anybody?
I'll second.
All right, have a second from Mayor Pro Tem. All in favor? So carried. Next item on the agenda is review of proposal of grant administration for assess inventory and assessment projects.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Last month, we approved a request for qualifications from engineering firms to administer our recently awarded asset inventory assessment grants, that being $150,000 in the amount for water and $150,000 in the amount of sewer with the grants we were recently awarded. Part of that process is awarding grant administration of those proposals to a qualified engineering firm. We advertised solicited proposals. Those are before you in hard copy tonight. We only received one. We advertised for several days, a month or so, and we have only received this one proposal from the Wooten Company. I would recommend accepting the proposal. Wooten Company has worked with us very closely over the past couple of years and certainly delivered purposeful and delivered excellent results for us. So I have no reservation or hesitation about recommending the approval of Wooten for these projects.
Well, you answered my question before I got to ask it, because I was gonna ask, do we have any reason not to accept it?
All right, do we have a motion to accept the Wooten Company?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Gabe Cordell, and have a second from Commissioner Connor. All in favor? All right, so carried. Next item is discussion of holiday activities and employee Christmas gratuities.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed last month, we're moving forward with the parade on December 7th. We've been successful in securing 17th. We've been successful in securing numerous sponsors for the floats and also some miscellaneous entries with people that wanted to participate. Ms. Roman did a great job securing our band from
In chief.
North Gaston. So they'll be there with us on the 17th. So that's certainly looking very promising. We hope to have the float order finalized by December 1 and have official number of floats that we're going to be having. Also, looking at doing the Light Up Ranlo event that we've done in years past. It's worked out well, where we encourage residents to decorate their yard, and then in years past we've done a first, second, and third prize. It seems like it's a good community event. A lot of people really enjoy it, and a lot of people particularly enjoy the opportunity to show off their yard. So I think that'll be a good thing to continue this year if you guys are agreeable with that. Also, we have Thanksgiving meal coming up later this month. I know that the mayor and Ms. Lockwood, Mr. Morton, I know you guys have been instrumental in working out some of those details. That'll be the 19th at noon. Those are our formal holiday events that we have coming up. Thanksgiving will, of course, be closed the 24th and 25th. So those are the formal holiday activities that we have coming up. Any questions, concerns, or comments on any of those?
I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question. For our Thanksgiving dinner, I'd like to know how much is allocated for that? And
Yes,
how
ma'am.
do we go about putting that out? If we're gonna still do it at the church, you know, dinners to go,
Right.
things like that. So I just wonder, what is the amount allocated
Right.
for that?
I'd hope to find a sponsor for the event, and we still may be able to find one. I've not got a definite no from a couple of people that are making some calls and looking into it. Last month we discussed having a meal, entertainment, and catering. We worked with getting several different proposals for the catering. The cheapest one that came in was Jackson's Cafeteria, right down the street here. Traditionally, Linwood Restaurant in Kings Mountain had been used. Unfortunately, the owner is having some health issues and was not able to help us out this year. Reached out to a couple of other places to get proposals. It can be quite pricey. And the exact number I can certainly provide you guys. Jackson's going to be able to do it for, I believe it is a little less than $1,500 for the catering, and that's for 125 plates that we've ordered. I believe it was roughly somewhere between $9 and $10 a plate that they were going to do for us. For the meal, that's the turkey, the dressing, the green beans, and I believe it is sweet potato souffle that we have in there. That would be coming out of recreation special events budget that we have here for things such as this. And then that would be the largest expenditure that we would have. The Potter's House has agreed to help us out by coming and plating, serving, cleaning up. The church has agreed to sponsor us again, has agreed to sponsor this year. So that's where the money's coming from and how much it's cost. I put it in the utility bill this month. It was included in there. And we will, as we get closer to the event, advertise. We're trying to cut back on some of the deliveries this year, just focusing on people that are truly homebound, that are on our list for garbage pick or for up or go from their yard and get their trash can and bring it back for them. Hoping to have the first sit-down event that we've had in several years. We've handled it differently the past couple of years because of the pandemic. But last month, we discussed moving forward with a formal sit-down.
Okay, so we won't be able to do the winter wonderland at the lodge this Christmas?
I would love to, Ms. Goddard. We're moving at a good speed on the lodge. We're still waiting for final permits for the outside structures to be able to be built, and we're also waiting for a few more pieces of equipment to get in here. But the windows, the doors, flooring, paint, all of that's on standby. So as soon as the permits are cleared, as soon as we get those final things that we need, it should move pretty quickly here in the next few weeks. Maybe we'll be able to have something at the lodge. Would certainly like to do that again this year because it was a huge hit last year. A lot of people really enjoyed that. So cautiously optimistic. I hope so. We'll certainly try. Okay, anything else in regards to upcoming holiday activities?
Okay, the manger scene, is it gonna be installed this year in front of the town hall?
Last year, the issue is one of the ornaments had been broken. I believe it was Joseph that we were not able to repair. There'd been some issue with storing them. I can check and see the status of where it is through there. I know there's been some rearranging. I can certainly check. We can look at that. We can look at. I know the fire department indicated at one time they may want to put it up there, and I think that actually a couple of churches inquired last year about possibly using it if we weren't going to put it here. And I do remember specifically Ms. Norman had requested to be able to use it, but because Joseph was broken, she decided not to. So it may be that some of them want to use it and be able to utilize it. And someone, and like Ms. Norman, you know, she does a fantastic job decorating for Christmas. She may actually have the nativity scene to put in that large manger that was built several years ago by the inmates, I believe, that they had built that. So we can dig it up and see what type of shape it is.
And the lights going up and down?
Yes, ma'am. Public Works Director and I were talking about that just today. We're looking at possibly towards the end of the month after Thanksgiving. It's amazing. Bessemer City put their tree up, I believe, on November 1st, and all of their Christmas decorations through there. So people are getting started early this year.
I saw McAdenville's Public Works.
Are they?
They're
They've already started.
putting their lights up.
Till Jesse's behind.
Okay. Anything else in regards to the activities?
No, but I would like to bring up something.
Yes, ma'am.
With us getting our new lodge
Yes, ma'am.
and all, I'm wondering, are we going to change the cost of rental for our lodge?
Mm-hmm.
If we're renting it at $125 for residents, and was it
Right.
$225 for people that live outside of Ranlo?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you all be willing to entertain an increase in the cost of rental? Because it's been doing a great job of renting. They say it stays rented out. Would you all like to just keep the cost as is? Or do you feel like maybe we need to consider an increase in the cost of rental?
I thought we would talk about that when we did the budget talks.
The board would certainly set a fee schedule that would have a line item specifically for what the cost of the lodge would be renovated. And it is a steal of a deal, $125 for a 12-hour rental of the facility. I think it's certainly a conversation that needs to be had at the conclusion of the project to compare what some other places around are using. It's unheard of that you see a 12-hour rental like that. I know Rankin Lake, they only rent it, I believe it's like a 1 to 5 rental, and it's significantly more expensive than the lodge currently is. So once it's fully renovated, I would be glad and would welcome the opportunity to do some research to bring proposals for what neighboring community centers are going for and what may be a good fit for the lodge, if that's something you guys would entertain.
Make some proposals would be a great idea.
And I do have under action item 8, employee Christmas gratitude. Over the past couple of years, you guys have voted to approve Christmas bonuses for town employees that were effective the week of Thanksgiving. We budgeted along those same lines this year for that bonus, but in order to formally award it, I would ask for input from the board at the amount that you guys are looking at this year, and any type of feedback that you guys may have in regards to employee Christmas bonus.
Was it a paycheck? an extra paycheck, is that?
What we've done in the past couple of years, we did $775 for the past 2 years for all town employees that was distributed the week of Thanksgiving, which would have been a little more for most employees than their regular paycheck, except the higher paid employees, department heads, myself, chief of police, and Jason.
But all total, it average out probably less.
What? I'm sorry, Mr.
It would average out less though, wouldn't it? 775 than if we give, an extra
Yes,
paycheck.
less, an extra paycheck would be less. The majority of our employees aren't at $775 a week.
Okay, I see. That sounds,
That was the thought
Sounds
process
doable.
behind it
Does it?
over the past couple of years.
yeah.
Have other municipalities, kind of set what their Christmas bonuses are gonna be?
It's my understanding the town of Stanley did a $3,500 Christmas bonus for all of their employees this week, using some of the money that they had been awarded under the American Rescue Plan Act, under their ARPA funding, is what I was hearing this week, that was adopted at their meeting this week. So that was certainly a very large sum and an incredibly generous show of support for employees in Stanley.
Yeah.
That's good.
How's employee morale?
It's touch and go. We've had a lot of difficult projects that the town's been working on lately. There's been difficulty with retention in the police department, a common process, or a common problem that a lot of cities and towns are facing, particularly here in Gaston County, because we have 12, 13 municipalities, county sheriff's office, and a lot of officers move from one agency to another regarding pay. We've had issue recently just of that. Public Works has worked incredibly hard, particularly this week. They've had water breaks, same place twice that they thought they'd handled. We had one of our employees that pulled a muscle on that job. A lot of long hours. That was last Thursday night. I was out with them for a while, and they were beat, and a lot of them have. It's taken a toll. This week we've had issues with our sewer station down on Duff Street. Thought we had it fixed yesterday, and then had to go back today and still not fixed. Thought we had it fixed yesterday, and then we're reporting the 2 water breaks, one over on Ranlo Avenue and one on Stone Mountain. Got over there and called back that sewer had backed up again, and I mean, that's horrible work. That's difficult work, and we've had a lot of our guys that have went above and beyond to be able to do what they can to get those sewage issues fixed. And on top of regular work that we have going on, and then these special projects with the lodge, that our guys have done a phenomenal job clearing and pouring some of that sidewalk up through there. I mean, Jason, CJ, have been on top of everything at Boulder Court, and that's a huge undertaking. That's $1 million project with a lot of hands on it, and it is incredibly stressful. And I do see that with some of our employees. Some of our employees are actually had come to me and inquired about taking a part-time job through the holiday season. So I mean, that's difficult for me to see. That's challenging for sure, that they are having to go above and beyond. But it's tough. I think that I think everyone is certainly appreciative of their job here at the town of Ranlo, and I certainly haven't gotten any complaints that they're unhappy with the workplace, or unhappy with their coworkers or their supervisors. That's certainly nothing that I've heard. But it's tough when you're in a sewer wet well for hours at a time. Particularly, I think they stayed here Tuesday night till 8, 9 o'clock down in just raw sewage that they were having to fight because it backed up. So it's taking a toll on our employees. I mean, I've seen that. I mean, taking a toll honestly on me. It's a lot going on. So, but we're doing good things, and I feel very confident that we're going to be doing even better things over the next few months with seeing some of these projects through. So it's a very stressful time of year, but that kind of comes with the job.
And I went up and looked with Jason up on top of Spencer Mountain,
Mhm.
putting that fence in, and
Yes.
the quality of the work that these guys are doing is top notch. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can, go look at that fence,
Yeah.
and where he's putting that on the side of that mountain and making it stick is amazing.
And that is a
Really good
very
job.
physically draining
Yes.
job, digging into that boulder up there to lay that fence
Who
for
is doing
WBT.
this?
This is the town. When we annexed in the WBTV property, we agreed to put a fence and camera system to protect our right-of-way through there, and potentially be able to read some of these new electronic meter. And that's another thing. They've been working, drilling holes in the lids of these new electronic meters, and this, even without $10 million of capital improvement projects, they stay busy, and it's a difficult job. But when you throw things like the fence and these projects into the fray as well, it makes for a challenging long day for a lot of our employees. And physically draining. That mountain work has been hard on
Just no
our guys.
matter what we have them do, they do top notch work. I mean, and they just bounce from one to the next.
Nobody's
I mean, these
ever
guys-
told me
these
no
guys-
with anything I've asked.
PD and our public works are top notch, in my
Okay.
opinion.
That's it.
I would like for us to be able to compensate them with the Christmas bonus this year.
I think that, based on all that, how is our budget looking?
Budget's good, with some of the retention issues that we've had, the salary line items are higher than they would be halfway through the fiscal year. With merging some positions, some of the changes that we've made, and, I don't know if you guys had a chance to review the audit in depth that I sent out, but that is a huge accomplishment that we were able to undertake. I mean, Eddie, when he was here, remarked that we had a wonderful year, and those numbers indicated that, both the utility fund and general fund not only ran in the black and broke even, we put money back into the utility fund balance to the tune of $292,000. Last year, we were running at a $95,000 deficit. So we closed that deficit and then put $292,000 back into fund balance for the utility fund. General fund also had an excellent year. Total growth in the fund balance for the general fund includes the ARPA funding. Well, that's right at $538,000 that we got this year. If you take that out, which I think you need to, if you need to understand what the effect of the tax rate was and what the effect of increasing that dime on the ad valorem tax, it's around $430,000, which is more than I had anticipated that we would put back. We conservatively estimated those numbers. So certainly the measures that we took a couple of years ago have worked. And I think that the State Treasurer's Office, the Local Government Commission, is going to be very pleased when they see the year that we've had, because last spring they were threatening to downgrade us as a distressed community. I think we've set those concerns aside, and I signed off on submitting the audit to Raleigh yesterday, so Eddie's gonna submit that. He'll be here to present his findings once the LGC accepts that audit, and once we're able to get him on the books for either December or January to present to you guys.
Okay, so to recap, employee morale is somewhat low at, you know,
They wouldn't admit to that, but yes, I think that's a fair statement.
our budget is very good. And while I don't necessarily support, you know, taking the lid off and going crazy, I think we should seriously, consider raising the bonus that we budgeted for.
But too, the increase isn't just all based on revenues. I will say that you and the admin team also do a great job, department heads, on keeping costs down. Y'all are saving a lot of money with that as well.
Well, and 2 years ago, we talked about the tax increase being hopefully a temporary measure, and at such time that we got to the revow that we could look, and such time that we were able to put some money back in the fund balance, adjusting that. And I think once we have the analysis done in January, when we see what the revow is going to be, that we can realistically look at that tax rate. I think that's important to note, and certainly important to the citizens. We asked a lot of them with a 10% or a 10-cent tax increase a couple of years ago. It certainly worked, and it certainly put us in the strongest financial position that we've been in, certainly since fiscal year 16-17.
How many employees do we have here in Ranlo?
We have 29 budgeted for.
29.
29 budgeted for.
How many actual?
We have a few pending resignations, people working notices. We have one position that's vacant in Public Works. And 29 may have included both a finance director and city clerk, and when we merged those positions with Ms. Rowland's appointment, likely we're somewhere 26, 27 is where we're at.
How many employees do we have that just started in October-ish?
We've had 2 employees that were released from Dallas Prison Camp that had been with us for a while through the release program that came full-time, but they're not per se new employees, they've been here for years. The youngest employee, or the least tenured employee, I would say was probably hired somewhere around March, April.
Okay.
Folks, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm gonna leave. I wish everybody a happy holidays
Thank you.
and a safe one.
Thank you, Mr.
very
Wilson.
much, sir.
And again, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, thank you for coming tonight.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I know we're working on a few hires for the police department.
There's been new add-ons to the insurance.
A handful, 1 or 2 maybe.
So what are we thinking, of adjusting that to maybe an even 1,000? Is what you're thinking?
What did you say?
Are y'all thinking of adjusting it maybe to an even 1,000?
No,
No?
no,
No?
Thinking maybe
that
twice
was
that.
too low.
I think considering,
We were going higher.
Just one quick question. With the employee bonuses, do we want to continue with, paying it with money that we budgeted, or is there any appetite for discussing using some of the ARPA funds from that? Because we haven't touched the ARPA funds for anything so far.
We can use that.
How much do we have in that fund?
There's a little over $1 million.
And they are actually doing with all the projects, I mean, everybody's doing more than they would in a
Consider
normal year.
This is, the past 3 months have been the busiest that it's been since I've been here over the last nearly 3
I mean,
years.
I do appreciate, I mean, everybody's always just eager to work, and I know they're working harder than they
They
normally
are.
would.
And it's evident, anyone that watches them can see.
So I think that, I'd like to see us around 2,000 for an employee.
And how much ARPA funds we have available?
Our ARPA funds, we haven't touched any of them there. We just received the second tranche a few months ago. We have over $1 million
Oh,
in that fund.
And I would be perfectly fine with using ARPA funds.
Let me research that a bit and see. I reached out to Stanley today to see if I could get a copy of their resolution using that. It can be done, whether it's categorized as hazard pay or as some type of revenue reimbursement. There's a lot of resources. I'll look into that.
Is this-
Certainly think we can.
Is everyone's idea, I guess, looking at making it the same, no matter what employee you are? 'Cause in my mind, I would like to, reward the department heads that they put in probably more time than any of them, and the manager, and putting time in a lot.
I would say, yeah, we come up with an across-the-board amount and then an additional for, our leadership.
Mm.
What are we looking
I'm
at?
a little, I
So-
guess I'm
No
a little
whispering
Scrooge, I'm
now.
looking at
Let's-
1,500.
You know, open forum here.
So,
I'm gonna be the Scrooge on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
if we do $2,000 across the board.
All
that-
employees?
that puts us at 58,000
For 29 employees.
for 29, so we don't, so it would be a little less than that. But that is,
But you have your department heads,
right.
and there's what, 4 of those? Police.
I'd also like to, for me to support that though, that would be, this is because we have the funding from ARPA that we can use, and the extra work that they're doing.
Yeah, I think that,
Yeah.
that this
I just
should
don't
be
want this to be a-
considered setting a precedent.
Yeah, that's how I wanna say that, yeah.
Yeah. I think that this year's been, unusually difficult considering all of what we've gone through and all the millions of dollars that we're trying to spend. That's a lot of time and a lot of effort and, a unique circumstance.
Maybe the heads should double that amount for the heads. I think that'd be good.
Who are you guys
Do you think that'd be
categorizing
good?
ahead?
What do you think?
Be what, CJ,
Commissioners,
CJ,
Jason,
Jason.
Chief,
Jimmy and yourself, and Sarah. Sarah being head.
Finance department, yeah.
With, you indicated Mr. Harper and Mr. Green,
Yeah,
with
the
police
chief,
department, Mr.
yeah.
Holland and
Yeah.
Mr. Lunsford. And then,
You and Sarah.
we have 2 part-time employees that we may need to take into consideration. Half of the 2,000.
Half would be fine, I think. They work,
when you say
20
part-time, they doing part-time or 1 day a week?
Julie's here with us a few days a week, and Hippie came back to help us with some of these projects part-time, and he's working within the allowable hours that he is able to work as a retired employee under the North Carolina local government retirement system.
I'd be okay with both of those.
Those are our 2 part-time
I
employees.
have a question. What do you all do with the prisoners? How does, I mean, they just get paid when they come to work in the town?
They do, we have, we recently were reassigned 2 $10 an hour inmates. They took the place of, 2 of our inmates that were released. And then we have, numerous dollar a day inmates that, rotate based on personnel issues in prison.
Okay, so they just get what,
Yeah, don't, if you pay
certainly appreciate the work that they do, but they are not full-time town employees.
Yeah, they're not.
So just to recap, to make sure, because we've had some dialogue, all employees, full-time employees, $2,000. We talking gross or net?
Net, after taxes.
After tax. Okay, 2,000 per employee, 1,000 for our part-time employees. And what were you guys saying in regards to department heads?
You said double it, right?
Double.
What's that take us to?
Yeah, it's gonna be up there close to
It's almost-
75,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
7714.
That's not bad for Rapid American, that is.
And to be clear, no commissioner's getting a bonus.
Oh, damn.
I know.
Well, the mayor's a department head. No, I'm not. Just kidding.
I mean, we do
Yes,
this for
we're-
charity.
We're close to 85,000 per period.
Yeah.
Ms. Palmer
Quick
was
notes.
asking about the advisory board.
If that's the consensus, I would ask for a motion on that.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, have a motion.
I'll second.
Cordell, second from Jamie. All in favor? So carried.
Opposed, Mr. Mayor.
Opposed? We got one opposed. All right.
Guys, this is incredibly generous. I can assure you our employees will be thrilled beyond measure.
I think that,
Can safely assume that.
make sure that this is not a precedent.
Sure.
This is, and thanks for all of the incredibly difficult work. I know we had set aside money for a pay raise in January. We're doing a pay study right now.
League's concluding its year-end pay study. I think that we budgeted 4% pay increase, cost of living adjustment into the budget, but we had agreed to freeze that till December to see how the budget came along, how the audits came back. I would like to have that discussion next month, reviewing some of the positions, reviewing where they are in regards to some of our neighboring municipalities, cities and towns our size across the state, and looking at the option of unfreezing that 4% in January and reviewing a comparison of some of the salaries that we have.
Okay.
I think that would be at least a good review, and even if not determined to move forward, something to keep in mind for budget planning for fiscal year 24.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is discussion from the town manager's report.
Mr. Mayor, I think I've covered everything that I had tonight, other than we will be closed tomorrow. There'll be no delay in residential garbage pickup, and we will be closed on the 24th and 25th. And again, no delay in residential garbage delivery pickup.
Will you all be closed the day after Thanksgiving too? though?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanksgiving the day after.
Okay.
Everything else, I believe we talked about holiday discussion and the audit.
So cutoffs will be somewhat delayed.
They will, I believe they'll be the 28th.
Is cutoff day. Bills are due the 28th.
20, okay.
So they'll have till the Monday after Thanksgiving to pay by 5 p.m. and there'll be no late fee, or there will be no cutoff if that occurs. And then Christmas, it looks like 27th will be the last day to pay before cutoffs occur. So give them a couple extra days.
And they're still doing both months. This,
I'm sorry, Mr.
both
President.
both months we're doing bulk pickup, both months?
Yes, we'll continue with bulk pickup the second Wednesday of each month. We did that yesterday. A lot was out. And leaves, we certainly ask for the patience of the community with getting these leaves up. We've been going around running the leaf truck, and they're a lot.
Is it back up and running?
Yes.
I know there've been,
Yes, we've got it back up and running the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks we've been running with it.
They didn't rake mine and get mine.
It's been tough the past day or two because of all the rain.
They don't suck good when they're wet.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get them if they're at the curb or at bags, either way, we'll get them as soon as we can.
I'd like to see, I mean, I drove around, I noticed a lot of people was raking theirs up. If we could put something out for next year even, it's late now, but when I've seen notices when they're raking them out, that they're raking them down into the storm drains. I would rather them leave them on the curb and we come and get it up
Right.
before it gets into the drain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Jamie's right, we need to be a little more proactive on telling people when we'll start
Mhm.
doing the leaf pickups and making sure that we establish, you know, put them here, not into the storm drain, so that we don't create more work for public
Yeah,
works.
because if a big rain that's coming through maybe this weekend and
Yes.
there's
It's gonna
leaves
be a tough
blocking
weekend.
everything, you're flooding the roads.
We try to get ahead of that.
Does
this week.
people
Amen.
actually do that, really?
Yes, my whole neighborhood.
Wow. You'd think that was, you understood like, the bridge ices before the road.
Yeah. Public
And you have to put a sign out, what about that? All right, so my comment would be, wow, about our new road that we've annexed. Spencer Mountain, y'all been doing a great job keeping it clean and cut, and man, it looked better than Parkway this past couple weeks.
It's been
Going
pretty.
down through there, it is gorgeous to drive down. The only problem is, I think don't we need to move our sign down some?
The right side, well, if you're going towards the bottom of the mountain, the right side of the road, all of that's in Ranlo to the bottom through
I
there.
noticed that the other day too.
So one could go down at the bottom of the mountain.
I don't
Town,
know, but on the
on the
left
right
side.
side, if you're going, if the
Down.
mountain's on your right as you pass.
On the
down.
left, on the way up, it's the first curve.
It is, I believe it's right where that sign is where, I'm sorry, his name. Escapes me right now, his house is kind of back through there that owns all of that property on the
Right,
back
yeah.
side through there.
Yeah. Okay,
That's right, but yes, it is, it's been very nice with the install.
beautiful, that's great. I noticed we got a new attendant out at the old, bank, and, I'd like to see us put a little bit of heat under him with cleaning up his lot.
We've had some concerns and complaints.
Have you?
about it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, code enforcement, I
Supposedly
believe, has an
on it.
open complaint. We actually took it, the week, it had gotten considerably out of hand, close to the festival, and we went up there and tidied it up just so that it did look neat and trim going into the weekend of the festival. But yes, that's definitely on our radar, that's been an issue. Hopefully with tenants in there, it won't be an issue.
Y'all doing a great job, though. I mean, kudos. Everything's looking great. If we just could get rid of the litter bugs.
Yeah.
My
Pick it up
goodness.
and they throw it right back out on the road the
I
next
tell
day.
you. Now, we have a resident here in town, Dana Tig, you know him?
Yes, sir.
He jogs and also walks up and down the mountain constantly, I mean daily, I believe, and he carries bags with him, and he picks up the trash and bags it and ties it, and if you'll see the big bag laying there, that's what that is. It's where he's cleaned up. I mean, he does
He does it all the time.
he's talking about moving though. He's got some land up in Bryson City, and man, we're gonna really miss him. So we may have to do some kind of honorary
Yeah,
road
he does do a
naming,
lot.
Dana Tig Highway or something. All right, I don't have anything else. You guys?
I'd like to, start first off by saying happy birthday
Ah,
to the Marine
took my
Corps.
thunder.
Yeah, I did.
Typical Navy.
And, tomorrow I'd like to wish all of our veterans a very happy Veterans Day. I hope that it's, filled with joy and some good free food from one of the many, many restaurants that have advertised that they're giving away meals for veterans. And I hope that everyone has a safe holiday weekend.
Yes, and thank you, Jamie. Dean, are you a veteran?
No.
I thank you all for your service. Thank you.
So I'd be remiss. I'd like to say to all the Marines in Ranlo, happy birthday.
All right, anybody else got anything? All right, next item on the agenda, closed session pursuit, North Carolina General Statute, 143-318-11A6.
I'll make a motion to go.
Hold on, no, Mayor,
We
hold
got
on.
a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? So carried.
Okay, I can't believe you did that to me.
You know what? I thought